these substances really? Physically, they are the stuff we breathe, the stuff that bubbles up in a glass of beer, the stuff that makes flowers smell sweet, the stuff that keeps us alive in hospitals, and, yes, the stuff that makes us laugh uncontrollably. Most gases are invisible, odorless, and colourless. Even methane, the gas that heats our homes, is undetectable to human senses. The reason you think you can smell it on occasion is because a smelly chemical called methane thiol is added so that leaks can be detected. Over thousands of years, we have pieced together the physics and chemistry that underpin the actions of these gases and given them names like hydrogen, smoke, carbon dioxide, steam, air, and hurricanes. Our theories of the atomic nature of gases and their ability to flow, expand, and glow explain many of the folktale phenomena. So does our understanding of how invisible gases can intoxicate, cause hallucinations, and even kill us. They provide some explanation of fairy tales, of ghoulish skullduggery, and the power of the dead. We have also successfully harnessed the power of gases to create technology that most of us could not live without. It is the precise manipulation of fuel vapor that drives our automobiles. It is the mechanics of steam that still powers our homes. Bottled oxygen keeps our loved ones alive, and our ability to remove gases and create a vacuum is the wizardry that helps clean every home. And yet, like the sorcerer's apprentice, we have employed these powerful spirits without properly understanding how to control them. For instance, in the 1960s, we manufactured chlorofluorocarbon, CFC gases, which had fantastic properties that made them very useful as coolants in refrigerators. It wasn't until the 1970s that scientists noticed a growing hole in the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere and started to blame it on CFC gases. This ozone layer protects life on the planet from high levels of ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Without it, we would all be at severe risk of skin cancer. When the ozone hole was first discovered, there was denial from sectors of industry selling and using CFCs. Their position was that there was no proof that the invisible effects of their invisible products were causing this invisible problem. But the growing ozone hole became such a serious threat to human life that it became politically important to understand what was really going on. Government funding for research followed, but it took until 1985 before enough scientific evidence was obtained to determine that it really was CFCs that were causing the hole. A global framework for protection of the ozone layer was agreed, saving the ozone layer for future generations and preventing millions of premature deaths. Most people don't even know that this invisible disaster was averted. If the colour of the sky had started changing because of the emission of CFC gases, there would have been uproar at this pollution of our atmosphere. But since we can't see it, people often don't believe it. I include scientists too, for we are not immune to irrationality when it comes to deciphering evidence of cause and effect. For instance, the existence of oxygen was denied by pretty much the whole scientific establishment when it was first proposed as a gas. In the 1750s, it was thought that the reason something burns was because it contained a substance called phlogiston. This phlogiston was released when wood burned. The flame was the result of this material escaping. They believed this phlogiston was then absorbed by the air and taken up by plants, which in turn explained why they burned, because they had phlogiston in them. This seems very reasonable, doesn't it? It made sense, since it was biological materials that burned, while rocks and metals didn't. It wasn't until a scientist called Joseph Priestley discovered a new gas which allowed wood to burn that cracks in the phlogiston theory started to show. Priestley could have rejected the complicated phlogiston theory and pronounced proudly to the world that he had discovered oxygen, a new, invisible substance which was the key to explaining flames. Namely, that something burns because it chemically reacts with oxygen gas. But even in the face of his own evidence, Priestley